David Grossman. David?
I'm in the hot seat. I
You're
am here.
in the hot seat.
But I'm in the hot seat
Usually
today.
David Grossman is the host of KIOSK Toronto. Today we're turning the tables. We're doing a bit of a passion point moment. I'm going to interview David.
Go for it, Irene. I'm all yours.
You're all mine?
Yes.
Well, my first question for you, David Grossman. You started out as a mortgage broker, or this was part of your path. You became passionate about web TV. You started with a show called Mortgage Mensch. You went on to have another show called Keeping It Real for realtors.
Right.
And now you've opened up All Talk TV. Where did this start? What's it all about, David?
Well, I remember once when I was, I think, 10 years old, I was doing something funny with my sister, and she said to me, she said, "I think you should be on TV." And that stuck with me. And it was a seed. It took about 30 years to fully mature. But I've always liked, you know, doing presentations. When I was in high school, I loved theater arts, you know, acting. And whenever I had a chance to do a presentation or something for work or talk at my son's bar mitzvah or my sister's wedding, I just,
So you're shy,
I just thrived at it.
You're shy, so shy the way I am.
That's right. I guess so.
Okay.
I guess so.
So we both like to present, but you love web TV. I want to hear more about it.
Well, I mean,
Tell me the genesis. Like,
I
how
mean,
did you get into this?
The issue with web TV is you don't have to look to industry executives to buy off on your idea. With web TV, all you need is a camera, and then you're up and running. So I saw that as a great vehicle to promote my business and other things. I also started promoting my mortgage business on a Jewish radio show, Zelda Young, who's on Chin FM. It's a multicultural station. And you know, after listening to the show day in, day out, I realized that there was a lot to talk about, and it was a very interesting subject. So eventually I wanted to do more and more. Finally I had like a daily segment on the Zelda show where I was talking about real estate, and I would actually bring others on and interview them about real estate. And then I wanted to start getting into dealing with some of the Jewish issues that Zelda, and she said, well, you know, like she deals with the political stuff, stick to mortgages, okay? So when somebody tells me to, you know, stick to mortgages, that's a sign that I need to find something else. So mortgages is, you know, it's how I make a living. I love helping people. But I found with Jewish...
And you're great. You were my mortgage broker.
Well, thank you. Thank you
You're
very
wonderful.
much. But I found that, you know, with Jewish TV, there's more to talk about. There's more. So I started Mensch Life, was the name of the show, which eventually got picked up by JLTV.
Now, for viewers who aren't Jewish,
Yeah.
what does Mensch mean? What is the, like, how can you translate Mensch? Because it's a word I love.
Yeah. Okay, well, a mensch is basically, I mean, to simplify it, it's an honest person, but that's a very simplified version, right? It's somebody who does the right thing. And when I first got into the mortgage business, you know, I was working away for, you know, 6 months, a year, and I thought, okay, so what's unique about David Grossman that I have to offer? And one thing that I felt I always did was I always told people the truth, even if it was to my own detriment.
Yes.
Like even if I'm working on a deal with them for a long time and I'm hoping to close the deal, and then they give me some new information, let's say, which would maybe seem that they don't need the mortgage anymore, or my solution is not the best solution, I would just say it the way it is. So I felt that, you know what, I felt that I was behaving as a mensch, and I thought it was something as important because, as you know, mortgage brokers, some of them don't have the greatest reputation. So I thought it was something that would be a value.
No, and you were definitely a mensch, my man.
Thank
and
you.
I think that menschdom is something we have to celebrate. The ability to make the right choice and do the right thing. What could be more important? I mean, that's what living a life well lived is all about. That's what my show Passion Point is about. It's about really finding your passion and your purpose. Now, you started off with this entree into broadcasting. You ended up with a web TV show, a couple of web TV shows. Now you've set up a whole network. We're going to talk later in the show about what it's like to have a show, how people can start a show. But I still want to go back to your vision for the network.
Okay, so somebody once, I heard somebody was at a lecture, they were always talking about, you know, if you're trying to solve one problem,
Yeah.
is that always, you know, once you solve it, always move up to the next problem. So, you know, it's like, okay, so if I wanted a public platform, how much could I accomplish, you know, doing media about mortgages? I mean, people just weren't that excited
It's not
it's
fascinating
not
stuff,
exciting.
David.
So I took it up a level.
Okay.
So I got into the Jewish TV, and
Yeah.
now I'm taking that up one step further to create my own network. How do you grow your show? How do you, you know, so because sometimes being fixated on solving one particular problem is can be like banging your head against. So don't give up solving that problem. You know, so I want to continue my mortgage business, continue to grow the shows that I do.
Well,
But at
tell
the
me
same
about
time,
okay.
I thought let's take it up a notch, and have this network where I can help others to create their shows as well, and to have a network of interesting shows.
What do you think is the value of a show? For somebody who's considering having a show, what's important? What value is there for that person?
Well, I think that I mean it's an incredible opportunity to put yourself out there in front of people, and to share whatever it is that you want to share. So, you know, if you have certain ideas, and it requires a certain amount of honesty too, because you see like what people like and what don't. When you put yourself out there, you know, you see what people like, what people don't like, and it's forced me to continually try and, you know, be a better person and try and be more honest and come up with things that are interesting.
Yeah.
You know, like real estate agents, I feel that they get emails all day long from mortgage brokers. Oh, I got the best rate, I got this. But how many of them are going to offer them, hey, you can start your own talk show, I can help you with your marketing.
Yeah. So there's a marketing angle and there's a human angle too. And when you think about the price of entry into the marketplace today, it's cheaper than ever before to get into the marketplace. But how do you really differentiate yourself? I think you differentiate yourself by building community, building relationships. And I think that one of the greatest ways you can do it is having a show. I mean, it's a great opportunity to share, to contribute, and to also show the world what you can do.
Yes. Now, you mentioned an important aspect, and that is the building community.
Yes.
Because the one thing about web TV, I mean, I'm hoping to grow, and I'm working on things to build viewership at All Talk TV so that all of our shows are going to benefit from that. But we are fairly new, and as you know, Irene, it takes some effort to be found. But now everybody knows, okay, anyone who's doing any marketing nowadays knows that internet marketing is key and where it's at. So, but what are you communicating to people? So everybody, like most people are doing text, right?
Yes.
And you can send out some interesting newsletters or tweets or whatever it is that you're doing, but video is the cutting edge. I mean, let's face it, if you're on the computer, it's kind of hard to read anything extensive, but if you have some interesting video, I mean, look at YouTube, right? We know that people want video because it's interesting, it's multimedia. You can sit back, you can, you know, watch and listen, like when you're watching TV. So, but people have to. It really helps if you have some of that savvy yourself, because using Facebook and Twitter and email, you can help to build your show. You could provide some dynamite content to your community.
So David, we're going to return after the break and talk about really what it takes to build a show.
Okay.
Is this something for introverts? Is this something for you? Welcome back to KIOSK Toronto with your guest host, Irene Becker. Today, David Grossman isn't hosting. He is in the hot seat. David,
Hot seat.
How does it feel to be in the hot seat?
I don't mind. It's less work. I don't have to think about what to ask. I just
so you like being interviewed?
Sure, why not?
Good. Because I want to hear all about what you think it takes to have a TV show.
Okay. Well,
What kind of people do you want on All Talk TV? Who should be interested in this?
Well, I think anybody who feels that it's something they want to do, you know. I mean, if you have a desire, then you may have the talent to back it up. I don't even know, like, if talent is the right word, you know, because I wouldn't want to limit anyone. You know, we would know soon enough, right, if somebody has potential to draw an audience, because I would never discourage anybody from doing anything. But sometimes it takes time, you know, people need to, but it's amazing, like people, some people are so afraid to get in the camera, but others like thrive off it, you know. And some people are afraid, but it's a good fear that they should overcome. I think it's a wonderful opportunity, really, to be in front of the camera. It forces you to be the best person that you can be, forces you to challenge yourself. And I know I've personally grown a lot. So anybody who feels a desire, and you know what? Today we invited a lot of real estate agents to watch the show, but you know, anybody, and even if a real estate agent has a rock collection and they think that they can, you know, do a show about rocks, because after all, this is a global environment now. So, you know, maybe CBC would say, you know, we can't really do a show about rocks, but there could be enough people all around the world to watch it.
Well, we also have seen the Justin Bieber effect, and I'm not, in the sense that when you get on YouTube, you have no idea who's watching you. I think the point is, if you are a person of passion and integrity and you have a business that needs greater exposure, if you have a topic that speaks to you, that you want to share with the world, I think that this is the perfect forum. What could be better?
It is, and you know, you can always hope that things will go viral like they did for Justin Bieber. But you and I both know that there are some tried and true methods for building your network, your community on the web. You are a Twitter, I'm going to call you a guru. How many people are following you on Twitter now?
About over 3,000, but most of the 3,000 have come in the last 2 weeks.
So that's pretty amazing. So.
Well, I think what's been amazing to me is I'm a learnaholic and a shareaholic, so I tweet about everything. Occasionally I stick in some of my articles, but I've met the most incredible community of like-minded people, of thought leaders, of people who really live with head, heart, and soul aligned, both within the corporate machine and entrepreneurship. And it's been just a great experience at building community, and also learning about social media. So it's been great, but I think that part of social media is video, is TV, and I've really enjoyed, my show has only been on for, I've only done 3 episodes, but it's exciting, it's fun, it's incredible. Every time I have to do Passion Point, I love it. Well,
and then plus you're building your network too with people who are coming on your show, right? And they appreciate the exposure, and then they take the show, because we post it to Vimeo after, and they can share it with their community, so it's great for them too. For people who are afraid of having their own show, I'm an executive coach, and I work in all aspects of communication leadership, specifically with people in high stress, high change environments. I'm here to help you. As part of launching the show, I will coach you, I will help you. You don't have to go it on your own. And you don't have to be afraid of the camera. The camera can love you. Yeah, Irene is a great coach, and I know she would help. And you have to give me some coaching on Twitter, and I'll help you on Facebook. Because
I don't know about Facebook.
I was found, well, JLTV, Jewish Life Television in the U.S. that plays our show. They're in 30 million homes. They found me on Facebook. So Facebook is very powerful. You know, there's ways to find communities, to build your communities online. And so, you know, between the two of us, I think Facebook and Twitter are 2 of the major.
I think they are. I mean, I think the importance of establishing community, building community, developing those relationships now, I mean, when you think of a global marketplace, in a way we're going back to the past and the main street where everyone knew everyone, but in a very different way. I mean, business today is all about building relationships.
Mm-hmm. That's
And
right.
I think that social media is a huge part of that. And the opportunity to have exposure, the opportunity to connect is huge.
Should we see if we have any questions either in our audience or online? We have some viewers online, but we don't have any questions. Any questions from our audience members here? Not so far. I was going to say also, Irene, the other thing that I do, which is
Yes.
very easy to do, is when you upload, like we upload most of our shows, whenever a show's complete, we upload it to Vimeo, which is similar to YouTube, but we've been finding it to be a little faster in terms of the upload.
Okay.
Because YouTube sometimes, I don't know, and also YouTube there's a time limit. You can only do a 10 or 11 minute, where a lot of our shows are 45 minutes or an hour. And then once it's up on Vimeo, you can grab the embed code, and so you don't need a programmer, and you just populate it into your blog. And so it's additional content for your blog.
Great.
So you're, constantly putting new, interesting things out there.
And you're constantly building community,
Right.
right? Isn't that what it's about?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's, because you need to communicate with your audience or your customers or whatever it is, and you want to give them something that's interesting, something that's different, and right? Because a lot of people are putting out the same cookie cutter stuff. That is, but it takes some work. You have to be a little bit creative. You got to put some time into it. Think about who your guests are going to be and what you really want to talk about with your guests. But I have found it to be very worthwhile.
So have I. And I really look forward to helping people who want to have a show really get out there and do it and put themselves out there, because it's a great feeling. It's wonderful, and I want to thank you for giving me this experience, David. And because you're in the hot seat,
You have another hot
I have another hot question.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I want to ask you, what's the best thing about web TV, and what's the most challenging thing?
Well, the best thing about web TV is that you can create amazing stuff if you put the time into it, and you can put yourself out there
Yes.
without having to have 6 months or a year of business case why some television executive should carry your show. You want to do it, you do it. Nobody
Now.
can stop you, and you can do it
Now.
today,
Yeah.
right? And the most difficult thing is you have to work on finding your viewership. People turn on the TV, channel 3, 4, 5. By default, you're going to have 50, 100, 200,000 viewers no matter what. But you know what? Stuff that people are watching on TV, I find it motivating, because when I flip through it, hundreds of channels, I say, there's a lot of junk out here. There's a lot of junk. And more people are moving to the internet, where they can choose to watch whatever they want, when they want, and this is the future.
Oh, I do think it's the future, and I think that you were really visionary in setting up All Talk TV. And All Talk TV is going to be live with an audience too, and it's really, really exciting. So if you have a show, a concept that speaks to you, if your business is something you're passionate about, and you want a new marketing edge, I encourage you to contact Mr. Grossman, because he's the best.
And we're doing whatever we can to make things easier for people. They can start off by being a guest on one of our shows. Come to the studio, visit, check it out. They can even guest host an episode of KIOSK Toronto. Get
Terrific.
their feet wet, and get to see what we're all about. We welcome you to call us or to
You can
come
get
to
your
the
feet
studio.
wet, you can get your whole body wet, because if you stink, David Grossman's going to throw water at you. No, I'm only kidding.
I might.
No. This is a very friendly place. It's a great
It's an encouraging
experience.
environment, isn't it?
It's an encouraging environment, and Miss Glass, half full always. Irene will be here to help you. I want to ask you, if you think
Here's
about...
a question.
Oh, yes.
The Nicholson team, would you suggest sticking to a particular topic, i.e. real estate in our case, or incorporating a personal aspect as well? That is a great, great question.
Excellent.
What do you think?
I think you know what, the Nicholson team, I think we need a bit more detail. For example, I can tell you, my show comes from my desire to reach out and inspire people who want to live their passion and their purpose. It's also an avenue for me as an executive coach, as a speaker, as a writer. What is the personal topic that speaks to you? And is there a way that you can do both? You need to give us more information, wouldn't you say,
well,
David?
I mean, I would say definitely be open to incorporating personal. I mean, you know, we have to look at what it is, obviously. Is it something that could be of interest to other people? And if it is, then I would say yeah, because that is how people can develop
A relationship, a community.
A relationship and their own way of doing things, you know? And it's because if let's say you're doing a real estate show, I mean, you know, there's the standard stuff you can talk about. What's the market like? You know, how do you get a mortgage? Here's a home inspector, you know, but after a while, you do 2 or 3 shows. So yes, I would say absolutely be open to that. It can be about fishing. It can be about whatever. Because these are, you know, especially if you're in real estate, it is to a large degree about the relationship. As long as it's interesting, okay? If it's interesting and it's honest, then I would say go for it.
Nicholson team, are you passionate about the personal aspect you're thinking about?
Okay, so there's a bit of a delay, so I don't, you may not. We also have, of course, a phone for people to call in.
Okay.
Which we didn't connect today.
But we're going to do it in future.
It was a very last minute.
Last minute.
We announced this last night.
Yes, David Grossman is a guy who he's such an entrepreneur.
So we figured, you know, because we talked about doing this last week, and the weather was so nice, and you know, so
and you were golfing, David.
It was hard to, you know. So, but then
You
I figured, you know
tan?
what, these guys,
Look,
Lior and Josh, these guys, I figured they're going to fall asleep if I don't bring them in till Thursday, till the next show. They're going to like forget where they work. So I figured, you know, let's do a show.
But this is also a story of the boss. Look, he's been golfing. He has a tan.
That's right.
See? Look at my face. Am I tan?
I don't actually golf, but yes, I do work on tan. I drive with the sunroofs open as much as I can.
Okay, I haven't.
So anyway, we don't want to. We've got to stick to the golden rule, which is not to be boring. I don't know if people want to hear about my driving with the sunroof.
They don't want to hear about your driving and your golf?
It could.
If you want
if I was passionate about golf, that would be one thing. But I do really. One of my favorite summertime activities is driving with the sunroof down. And I know this is terrible because we're in an age where we have to conserve. But I'm going to admit this. I drive with the sunroof down and the air conditioning on because, you know, truthfully, I don't think it makes really any difference. Like if somebody could prove to me that definitely you're wasting, like the air's running, it's running. It's like 100 degrees outside. Anyhow. So that's my personal thing. Nicholson team, thank you for your question. We'd love to hear from you. Come by the studio or anybody else. So what else we got? And Irene's going to help coach you too.
Yeah.
So what else? Do we have anything else today? Or?
I think that's it. I think we've covered what do you need to do if you want to have a TV show. You need to contact David Grossman at All Talk TV. He will tell you the ins and outs, what.
You'll come by the studio, you'll take in a show. We do a few shows now, right? We have your show, we have Gila and Guests every Thursday. We have Anna Adu. Yes, Irene will definitely help you. We have Anna Adu started a show, Being a Visionary. She had her premiere here a couple weeks ago. And we've got another show starting in the next 2 weeks about a guy, Leland Cole. He's from the States, and he advocates for people who need to use medical marijuana. So we're not afraid of controversy here, too.
No, and I got to tell you, exciting. I'm very excited. I have to share something about Passion Point.
Go ahead.
Passion Point is Thursdays, twice a month, 11 to 12 Eastern Daylight Time. But you can find it all the time on alltalktv.com.